So today I'm going to get the dash top on. In the last episode of this Galant build, I got the interior all installed, so that's all looking really sharp. I've got a new steering wheel to go on. In the future I need to make up a cover for the gear knob and dress that area out. And previously I made a new dash top for the dash, because I don't think they're available. So I'd made this one out of sheet metal. It fits pretty good actually. I'm happy with it. It's, you know, I've welded and cut and made this thing where it fits, but I'm not happy with the finish, and it is actually quite heavy, and in an accident it's no good. So I plan to tidy this up, so all these little welds along here, sort of dress these off so they're smooth, and then use this as a mold to make a new dash cover out of fiberglass for the Galant. This is very experimental. If it doesn't work, this video probably will never make it to air, but let's give it a go, and we'll see if we can't get an acceptable dash cover out of this. I might just show how it fits first. So it actually fits pretty good. Just need to be careful around all the fresh paint, and it's pretty easy to get it in there when there's no windscreen. But once you sort of get it in place, you can see that it fits pretty good. It seems to line up all the way along in all the key spots, and the beauty of making it out of fiberglass is that you can adjust as needed. So that's the general idea of it. So now I'll get it over there and clean some of these welds up and start making a new one. Now I consider this is pretty experimental. I've never used fiberglass for this sort of a job before, but what I'm planning on doing is covering this piece with tin foil. There's probably better products, there's probably stuff you can buy that you can just spray onto this and then the fiberglass won't stick to it, but this is what I've got lying around, and it might also help close up some of these gaps. I've got a little gap down here and there's a gap over here. I think the tin foil is going to be what I try it with this time. Who knows how it's going to turn out? Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but I'll give this a go. And if it doesn't work, who cares? I'll just try again with something else. But that's what we're going to do this time. Well, well, that's it. It looks like a Christmas decoration, but onto the next stage. Some of these bits here just don't really want to stick, but I don't think it matters. As long as when I get the fiberglass on there and the resin, as long as it sort of conforms to the shape underneath, will be good. It doesn't even need to be exact in some of these bits. Like in this bit here, this is where it wraps around the instrument cluster, sort of sits in there. So the important profiles, that one there and that one there. This bit between sort of here and there, I took creative liberties on it with the original one. I believe that this sort of comes out more here as well, but I made this out of metal, and I didn't know I was going to be fiberglassing over the top of it and using it as a mold. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have made it out of metal. But it doesn't really matter. I think it's going to look cool, and hopefully it's going to do the job and work. But I guess the next stage is I'm going to break out the fiberglass, and we'll start layering it on top and seeing if we can't get it. There's a little bit of complication here is the awkwardness of the shape. It sort of wraps right around, like it wraps all the way over there to where it's contacting the bench, and then it comes over here to just off the bench. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go doing that, whether I can do it all in one go, or whether I'm going to have to, I don't know, whether I'm going to have to sort of do the top half and then come back later and try and mould the bottom half on. I don't think that'll work. So I don't know, I think I'm just going to start cutting out fiberglass sheeting and sticking it on there and see what happens. Alright, so fiberglass mat's all cut, and I applied the resin, mixed it with the appropriate amount of hardener, meaning all of it, and now we let it set. On the packet it says 24 hours for full cure. So, see you tomorrow. And just like that, another day has passed. So this has been sitting for 24 hours. Actually, make it 21 hours, but long enough. It's certainly cured. It's got a few rough bits, but that's to be expected. I've done a little bit of work with fiberglass in the past. But yeah, I think this is going to work out okay. The trick now is to get it separated from the metal mould behind it, and then trim it up. It's going to need a little bit of sanding, and yeah, here goes. It's pretty good. Can see where it's pretty good. Can see the mark along here. That's where the metal mold was. So that would need cutting along there. The same along the bottom here. That's where the mold went to. Just here, so we can cut that all off. This along here needs trimming. But no, I think that's pretty good. It's the texture's interesting. There's a few odd lumps here and there. As I was thinking about this today, I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll bodywork the whole thing. But I don't think that's the answer, because, like I said, I got the hammer tone paint. I want it to have a textured surface. I don't want, like, there's a sharp bit there. I don't want that. So I'll knock the sharp bits off, for example, but I certainly don't want it to be smooth. All right, I'm going to clean this up and bring you back when it's time to test fit it. All right, let's see how this thing fits. Excuse the massive lake in the shed here. I've got a problem. It's been raining a lot here and the water just keeps coming down the hill, and it must build up against the back wall and comes in. So that is another job that's going to get added to the list. In the meantime, check out the dash. So it's fitting much better. I did a bit of trimming to get it in, and it's pretty good. Happy with that. So I'm going to put a couple of holes and some hardware in to fasten it into place. I don't even know how the original one connected. I assume it clipped in on the top somewhere, but that's okay. I'll just drill a couple of holes and screw it in, get it to hold, and then I actually have some really small pinch weld that I mistakenly bought instead of this big stuff for the doors here. I bought this really little stuff by accident, and I've lost it when moving sheds but it'll be somewhere. So I've got that, which I'll use to dress off the back edge along the top here. I'll use it to dress that, and I could even run it along the seam here and here. I don't know. I might do that, and maybe even along there. I don't know. But yeah, that's not important for right now. But I just want to. I think if I put one there, that's going to hold all this down in place. I'm not sure where the one over here should go. I don't want to. Just trying to figure this out. If you're wondering whether or not I should have searched harder for an original dash top, the answer is probably yes. But this is what I've got. Didn't have an original one. The car didn't come with one, and after scouring Marketplace and all that, they just don't seem to pop up. I spoke to a couple of wreckers and they're always cracked and stuffed, so this will do. I think it looks all right. I've got no issue with how it looks. It's just I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be rattling and creaking and like moving around and all that sort of stuff. So as long as I can fasten it into place properly and make it the right colour, then I think it'll be okay. There is a dash mat, like the carpet dash mat that I've got that can go over the top there. It won't be my decision if that gets run or not, but I think it'll neaten things up anyway. And I'm an old guy, I run those carpet dash mats on everything that I drive. Who are we kidding? Getting dark out. Now while we wait for that to dry, we'll get on with other things. It's come up pretty good, all things considered. Pretty happy with that actually. Yeah, it looks good. So I was having to think about this, and being fiberglass, it's going to be a little flimsy, not as just not as solid as what it would be. Well, certainly when I had it made out of metal, but even the factory one, which is like I think it's hard plastic, and then it's got like a vinyl or a rubber coating on it. So I found this stuff, which was just here. I've had it for a while. I think this is expansion joint foam that concreters use when they pour slabs or join old slabs to new slabs or something like that. Anyway, I think it's a foam that goes in concrete. But I've got a bunch of it. So, because it's free and because it's here, I think I might put some along the top of the dashboard here. If nothing else, I think it's going to stop the fiberglass from rattling, and I think it'll just give it a bit of structure so that when I put the screws in from the top here, it holds the fiberglass against the foam, and I think that'll help it keep its shape. And yeah, seems like a good solution. I was considering blowing foam, as in like gap filler or whatever you want to call it, into this section along the back there. I don't think I'll do that. I don't think it's necessary. I think I can just put a strip of this in there. This is quite thick. It's got to be 3 inches or 75 or 80 millimeters wide. It's pretty thick stuff. So I think this will do it. And I tested here, it's really sticky. It's good stuff. So let's do that. Super happy with that. Like, the fit's really good. It's rigid enough. That's cool. I've got a, like I said earlier, I do plan on putting a dash mat on this thing, which is up here. Now it's a bit dirty, it's been sitting around for a minute, but should add, it's not my car, so the dash mat won't be my choice, but obviously needs to clean and an iron and whatever, but I don't know. It's a thing. But importantly, it's another job ticked off. And it was one of those jobs that had been hanging over my head, getting the dash sorted for this, because I had made that steel one. I made a whole video on it, but I was never happy with that. I was never happy with that dash. So, and being metal, it was just going to be a pain, like getting it roadworthy and all the rest of it. Like, you can't have metal dash. So I think that's a win. Maybe I will dress this seam along here with that pinch weld stuff, but it looks good. I can tell that it's made out of fiberglass because, well, it is, and because I made it, but other than that, like, it looks the part. The only issue, of course, is that it's fresh black, whereas all down here it's all dirty. Once I clean up the lower dash section and get it to be you know, more of a consistent black, I think that's all going to work. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.